The Nigerian Army is one of the most important institutions in the country today. It protects Nigeria's sovereignty, maintains internal security, and supports peacekeeping missions across Africa and beyond. But this powerful institution did not begin as a national army. Its roots trace back to colonial Nigeria, long before independence, to a time when Britain was expanding its control over West Africa. To understand the Nigerian Army, we must go back to the year 1863. In 1863, Lagos was under British colonial administration. At the time, Britain needed a reliable local force to enforce authority, suppress resistance, and protect trade routes. Lieutenant John Hawley, Glover of the British Royal Navy, was appointed governor of Lagos. Glover selected 18 indigenes from northern Nigeria and organized them into a small armed unit. This group became known as the Glover Houses. Although small in number, the Glover Houses represented the first organized military force that would eventually evolve into the Nigerian Army. The Glover Houses were primarily used for punitive expeditions in the Lagos hinterland. Punitive expeditions were military actions aimed at suppressing resistance against British rule. They also protected British trade routes, which were vital for commerce in palm oil, ivory, and other goods. At this stage, the force had no formal military doctrine. It combined police duties, military enforcement, and colonial control. Despite this, the Glover Houses set the precedent for using locally recruited soldiers under centralized command. In 1865, the British colonial government decided to formalize the force. The Glover Houses became a regular unit known as the Hausa Constabulary. This marked a major transition from an informal armed group to an officially recognized security force. The Hausa Constabulary performed dual roles. 1. Policing colonial Lagos. 2. Carrying out military operations when required. Later, as Lagos grew in importance, the force was renamed the Lagos Constabulary. While the Lagos Constabulary operated in the south, Britain was also expanding control in other regions. In 1886, the Royal Niger Company Constabulary was established in northern Nigeria. This force protected British commercial interests along the Niger River. In 1891, another unit, the Oil Rivers Irregulars, was formed in the Niger Delta to safeguard trade and suppress resistance. By the late 19th century, Britain controlled multiple armed forces across, separately. A major turning point came with Frederick Luggett. In 1889, Luggett formed an early military body in Jebba, northern Nigeria. By 1890, this force became known as the West Africa Frontier Force, or WAFF. The purpose of WAFF was to 1. Unite scattered colonial forces. 2. Create a centralized military command. 3. Strengthen British control across West Africa. WAFF expanded rapidly by absorbing the Royal Niger Company, Constabulary, and other paramilitary units. By the end of 1901, all paramilitary units in British-controlled Nigeria were merged into the West Africa Frontier Force. This merger finally justified the name WAFF, as it now controlled forces across multiple British dependencies. In Nigeria, this reorganization produced two main regiments. 1. The Northern Nigerian Regiment. 2. The Southern Nigerian Regiment. For the first time, Nigeria had a structured military system. The first commanders of the Southern Nigerian Regiment included Lieutenant C.H.P. Carter, 1899 to 1901, Colonel J. Wilcox, 1900 to 1909. Northern Nigerian Regiment, Captain Sir Frederick Dealtry Luggett, first known commander from 1897. Lt. Col. James Wilcox, commander from 1899. These regiments were actively used during the annexation of Nigeria by Lord Luggett between 1901 and 1903. From the 18-man Glover Houses in 1863 to organized regiments under the West Africa Frontier Force, the foundations of the Nigerian Army were firmly laid. What began as a colonial enforcement unit eventually evolved into the backbone of Nigeria's modern military.